So, who to watch out for? First people to watch out for is the big wholesale companies. Essentially any wholesale company. Wholesale companies are literally a group of wholesalers. Everybody there is a wholesaler. They do immense amount of marketing, a tremendous amount. They have a massive amount of turnover within their space of, the wholesalers in the space. And simply because, again, wholesaling, the way you're making your money is off that fee. So they are fee based. They were fee focused. They were screwing over sellers. They'll screw over the buyers. It doesn't matter as long as they're getting their fee, right? To them, it's volume. So you got to be careful with them because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know their numbers. They don't necessarily negotiate contracts the right way. So you are now taking ownership because when you are buying a wholesale deal, you are buying the rights, right, to their contract, to what they agreed with the seller. So if what they agree with the seller doesn't make sense, you're absorbing that. And with wholesale companies, you also have large non-refundable deposits that it's pretty much, they hype it up because they have a massive buyers list. So they blast all their crap out. So you have a whole bunch of like novice investors, people overbidding, everything coming. And then they give you with that high pressure sales of like, hey man, it's going to go quick. You better put that $5,000 down, to lock up this deal. And then next thing you know, you put the $5,000 down, you did a little due diligence and you realize the deal sucks. So it's either lose the $5,000 or buy a bad deal. And oddly enough, a lot of people do choose to buy the bad deal just because of hopes that it may not be that bad. So it gets very, involved, and it gets into a point where it gets you into a lot of trouble. So I suggest, unless you have massive experience doing this, you should be staying away from these wholesale companies. All right. They don't care about building any relationship. They don't care about doing it the right way. All they care about is that fee. That is it. And if whatever they can do to maximize it, they will do. And if you're looking for a real deal, then you're never going to be a buyer to them. Another type of wholesaler you want to watch out for is the very new wholesaler. Now, again, the same with the wholesale companies. I'm not saying don't do business with them. I'm just saying you got to watch out for them. A new wholesaler, they're new. They don't know what they don't know. They don't know what a deal even looks like. They simply think, hey, as long as I get a seller that says, yes, I want to sell, they give me a price, I'll get it on the contract, and then I find a buyer. No. You got to figure out, is that price the right price? Is that deal make sense? And a lot of wholesalers just don't know or don't care about those things. A lot of them are getting into it because they need the money, right? And they think that wholesaling is a quick way to make fast money. And what that does is it incentivizes them to just look for the money and not what the deal is, not building the relationship with the investors, none of those things. And then you also have issues where they don't know how to fill out contracts correctly, right? If they don't know how to fill out a contract correctly and they overpromise on what it is that they told the seller you were going to get, you are now on the hook to deliver all those things. So you're now assuming that contract, and if that contract wasn't done correctly, if things weren't labeled correctly, now you're assuming all those things, and that could cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on the deal, tens of thousands of dollars at least, if it didn't go the right way, if they didn't fill it out correctly. And then they're using the wrong title company, the wrong attorneys, because they're looking more for who's the cheapest, who's this, and with the wrong title company, wrong attorneys, you won't get the necessary protection that you need when it's time to close on the property. Remember, you're the actual investor. You're the one sacrificing capital, time, effort, everything to actually acquire the deal. So you got to make sure all these components are being done correctly. Another downside is that they just don't know how to deal with problems when they arise as far as closing. There are a ton of times we are dealing with a homeowner and we're going through closing, and then liens pop up, heirs pop up, a bunch of things pop up. And if the wholesaler doesn't know what they're doing, the deal is dead in the water because they're the one that built the relationship with the seller, not you. So if all these problems happen, a lot of times the sellers end up backing out, or they get scared, or something happens because the person that was building the rapport with them doesn't know what the hell they're doing.